Sometimes you got to prove some things to some people. And I think the Cavs, with how they've handled this stretch, has proven some things to us here. But I don't feel like the run is there for a lot of people in the national media. I feel like the power rankings that I look at, I try not to get tied up in those too much. And they respect what the Cavs are doing. But tonight is that opportunity to prove everything to everybody. And I really look at tonight as a potential pivot on this entire season for the Cavs. Not even in a negative way. I think if the Cavs have a tough game tonight, that's understandable. I'm assuming Giannis is going to be back. Oh boy, do the Bucks have some drama going on with them. But if the Cavs can get a win tonight, and if they can just prove to everybody that they are a team to keep an eye on in the Eastern Conference, and dare I say in the NBA, it is all laid out in front of them tonight as they are on the road to take on the Milwaukee Bucks. This is one of those games you get geared up for, you get jacked up for. I wish it was at home, but in a way, I kind of am glad, Ryan, it's on the road. Tonight's one of those games, man. And do you view it the same way that I do? Tonight's a giant measuring stick for the Cleveland Cavaliers. You're going up against what should be one of the best teams in the NBA. Again, I assume Giannis is going to go. They don't have Adrian Griffin at the helm. Doc Rivers? Dude, what are they doing?
I was on Twitter and I thought it was like it wasn't the Bleacher Report real account, like the Bleach Blur.
Oh yeah, like one of the parody accounts. I go, they're going to hire Doc Rivers?
And I thought I saw the verification. I was like, wow. No way.
Well, nonetheless, Cavs have a big game tonight against the Bucks. We got our Tipico boost for that. We got to talk wine and gold. Unfortunate about Tristan Thompson. Did we send Adrian Griffin off to the unemployment line with that game last week for the Cavs? We got that all. Browns OC search. Should Deshaun Watson be involved in that? We'll hear from Andrew Barry on that a little bit later in the show. We got our soup bracket, which is rocking and rolling. We got time up, the morning update. We got it all for you right here on a Wednesday edition on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. A new outlet for everybody this morning. We are on Twitch.
We are. We're live.
I'm looking at it, man. We're up on Twitch. I love it. I love it.
It's pretty good.
We already got a bot.
See that?
That's willing to come in and get us channel views, followers.
Oh, Pash 2259 concerned about Cavs once Garland and Mobley come back.
We had that discussion a little bit yesterday. Thank you for the message.
Matt had a little spicy take there for it.
Moving Evan Mobley to the bench. I mean, that might be an option for the Cavs. I don't know. Should we click on this guy? I'm interested. I don't want to give credit to him. The first comment on the first morning that we're on Twitch. Sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promotion of your channel, viewers, followers, views, and chatbots. The price is lower than any competitor. You got a credit card for the company? Can you put that in there?
Yeah, let me just type it in real quick.
Here's $100. Do your best there on that channel there. But we are on Twitch this morning. So, again, a lot of people watch us on YouTube. We're up on Twitter, but our new outlet here is on Twitch, at Matt Fontana Show. So drop us a follow and a view there if you can. But I want to tell everybody, we're not going to stop anywhere else. This is in addition to everything that we do. So if we watch us on Twitter, we very much thank you for spending a few minutes of your morning with us. We're on YouTube. We're all over the place, including on Twitch. I'm excited about that. I'm so excited for tonight. I am. And it's the excitement that I think the Cavs are playing with house money tonight. They're on this incredible stretch, which we've talked about. Jared Allen setting all these records. But I think for a game like tonight, I just want to show up. Tonight, I want to put the league on notice. And I don't search for clout. I don't search for other people to talk about this team or give the respect. But I want that even for the Cavs a little bit. As a fan, I think I know how good this team is. And I'm believing, and I'm having a lot of fun. You know, at the end of the day, we're fans. The whole point of us rooting for these teams is to have a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with this team. It's like, dude, shooting the threes, in this win streak, we are scoring 129 points per 100 possessions. That's a lot. Let me put it in this standpoint. We are scoring 129 points per 100 possessions. We're only giving up 98. So on average, you are winning by 28 points in this stretch. And I would never make the case or never try to say that the Cavs are more talented than the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo is one of the best players in the NBA. But what I think is when you have a team that is talented, I'm not saying the Cavs are void of talent. They're talented, but then they're also riding this wave of momentum. That closes that gap between the Milwaukee Bucks. And then with what they did yesterday, firing Adrian Griffin, they're working on Doc Rivers to come in. You got Joe Prunty as the interim coach tonight for the Bucks, former Cavs assistant, by the way. I was like, I know Joe Prunty. I've heard that name way back, dude. Byron Scott era. Quite a long time ago.
Matt,
You've not thought of Byron Scott in quite some time, have you?
Well, I had a Cavaliers poster on my wall that I recently just took down because we're getting ready to move. But
do not call me. I'm just kidding. You can call me.
I won't. You have two. You already tore your bicep.
I don't know. Yeah, I tore my bicep. What's the one thing that annoys you more when people ask you to move or come over and paint?
Probably paint.
Yeah, I see. I
hate painting.
I don't mind painting,
but I had a Cavaliers poster since basically like what was that 2007? I mean 2008, and just the names on it were so nostalgic. It was like Alonzo G, Samardo Samuels, Anthony Parker, Antoine Jameson.
Oh, I loved Anthony Parker, man.
God, who else was there?
Well, that was the down. Those are some of the down years.
Who's the one dude who's he was kind of nice, but he really wasn't.
Doesn't really help. He's kind of nice, but he wasn't.
Good in a way, but not for he was good. He was supposed to be Baron Davis.
Baron Davis, dude. Well, you better thank Baron Davis for Kyrie Irving in a championship.
Yeah, true.
Put him up in the rafter over Tristan Thompson. Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Baron Davis.
But I think for the Cavs, with this momentum that they're riding, I am going to view tonight. I cannot wait. It's 8 o'clock. That's perfect timing for me. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch this game intently, almost not caring what the result is. I want the Cavs to win. They're 6.5-point dogs. We'll get to our Tipico boost, which I think is, again, savory for tonight. Tipico, use that code Fontana100 when you sign up. I just want to see him compete. I want to see where we're at. I can look at the power rankings, and I'll tell you, Ryan, we're about 8, 9. Some have us at 7. So, I mean, the fact that the Cavs are in the top 10 at this point makes me feel pretty good. 4 in the East for the standings. It would kind of, 4 in the East, 4 in the West. You'd think somewhere around that 7, 8, 9, which is kind of where the Cavs are at. But I want them to show me that they can take it to the Bucks. Because I said this yesterday. As well as the Cavs have played, I now have a belief that they could get some games against the Celtics. They could get some games against the Milwaukee Bucks. Get one tonight. Keep this close. Make it a fight. And also, games like this, you need as a team to understand your deficiencies against a team like the Milwaukee Bucks. You don't ever gear your teams up in any sport to beat just one team, right? I know some people get into that with the Ravens and the Browns. You drafted Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah to stop Lamar Jackson, all this other kind of stuff. You still have other games you got to play. But a game like this, I want to see the Cavs show up and play well. That's my biggest. I can't have a letdown game tonight. I want to have a true test of who the Cavs are tonight, so then they can take that information and maybe make the changes that they need, or get the understanding of, maybe we are a little further away from the Bucks than we thought, or we're right there with these guys. And then you add in Mobley and Garland, which we've talked a lot about here on this show. But tonight I'm looking at it from every angle. I want to see what we got against the Bucks. But the issue is the Bucks might not even be the Bucks tonight. There's two schools of thought. You fire your coach, these guys are going to come out tonight hell-bent and trying to make this prove that they were right. So we'll post our Twitter question this morning at Matt Fontana Show. Are you using tonight's game against the Bucks as a measuring stick for the Cavs? Are you viewing this game as a measuring stick for how far away the Cavs might be from an Eastern Conference championship or one of the teams that are in? Let's talk about the Bucks firing Adrian Griffin for a minute. So many parallels to David Blatt, and I tweeted that out. A lot of people did yesterday. They were second in the East, a 30-win team at the point of the season, and they fired their coach. It was kind of the same message when the Cavs moved on from Blatt. Now, the thing is, David Blatt was in the NBA Finals the year before. Adrian Griffin, in his first year, Ryan, didn't even make it to the All-Star break.
That's nuts.
Isn't that nuts? They couldn't wait to get Mike Budenholzer out of there. How they fumbled the bag on Nick Nurse. I'm a big Nick Nurse fan. I think he is one of the better coaches in the NBA. He really is. And when he went down to Philly, look at what the Philadelphia 76ers are. That was such a miss. And in a way, as a Cavs fan, I was happy he didn't go to Milwaukee. But it's so many comparisons. The NBA is the only sport that's kind of this way. When you lose that locker room, you lose it so fast, and there is no coming back. And I think it's players understanding there's no league that is more player empowerment than the NBA. They leave when they want to. They go, at one point, we're going to teams that they wanted to. They got these guys paid. They got these guys fired, all that. All these coaches fired, this and that. And it was clear that the Bucks made a statement. We don't believe in Adrian Griffin anymore. He's not the guy for this job. And he's gone. He's gone. What the Bucks do tonight, I would imagine they're going to come out all fired up. Because what they want to do is double down to say, see, we were right. See, we made this move as the team. And I wouldn't put that on Giannis, but it sounded like the collective felt like they lost faith in Adrian Griffin. That was what came out. The veterans on the Bucks didn't feel like he was the guy to lead this team anymore, and they make the quick move. So now they need to come out and prove that they were right in this move. And it's just one game. I'm really kind of boiling it down to this one game tonight. But I imagine you're going to get the best effort from the Bucks. They don't like what you did to him last week. I'll tell you that much. I know Giannis wasn't in that game. I expect him to play tonight. They're going to come out hell blazing.
Cavs putting the league on notice tonight?
I hope so.
I've never seen a team win 8 straight and get no coverage. Never seen it before.
I mean, the thing is, this is a star-driven league. And this is not a shot about Donovan Mitchell or anything like that. But the NBA is all about the stars, and they're all about and Donovan Mitchell is a star, but he's not quite on the level of some of these other guys. Can I just add, maybe this is me with the Cavs, and maybe this is a little bit of a hangover from the Browns. I feel like the NBA has just kind of been like, meh. Like, am I wrong? Like, you just had a game, the other night, Karl Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid, 60 and 70 points, and I feel like there hasn't been a lot with the NBA. Am I missing that? Am I reading this wrong?
It's because people don't play defense anymore. I'm telling you, straight up. That's why.
Well, yeah, you're at historic.
The games aren't entertaining.
Well, the thing is,
why that Celtics Nuggets game, which was great, it was as advertised, was one of the games that actually hit. That was supposed to be good and was. Like, it's not fun anymore. The regular season. The in-season tournament was the closest thing we got to fun.
Okay, I will give you that. That you're right. Yeah. And I feel like that's another reason why we're on this downturn a little bit. Where the NFL, look at all those numbers that are through the roof, the most watched games since then.
It's also because there's way more parity in the NFL. Teams can win on any given Sunday, I feel like. Compared to the NBA, I'm sorry, the Pistons are never in 20 games. The Bucks are probably winning 19 of those. Even the best teams, the 49ers versus the Panthers, okay. But still, they could probably win a couple. It's just there's so much more parity in the NFL.
Well, the other thing with the NBA, now is not necessarily their time. They tried to grab a little bit with the in-season tournament, which I came around on, and I said it was a good idea. If I were them, I'd push it back to now. Wouldn't it be better if the in-season tournament was going on now?
I initially thought it was supposed to be later.
Well, I thought it was going to be later because I thought they wanted the championships to be somewhere around the All-Star game.
Not 2 months before All-Star break.
Yeah, I don't know. But I just feel like the NBA's kind of been off a little bit. And it really has to go with the fact the NFL has been soaring. They've had the stories. They've had the Taylor Swift saga, all that stuff going on. So the NBA's just kind of been a lull for me right now.
We need another Malice in the Palace or something.
Kind of happened with the Charge the other night. Monty Bates is fed. We'll get to Tristan Thompson.
So I'd only heard that. Do you know what happened with that?
No, I just know they went in the stands. There were two guys. One of them is Monty Bates, more notable. Got suspended 2 games for going into the stands. I assume
where did the Charge play at? What city? Canton?
Well, no, they're up in Cleveland now. They're in the Wolstein. That was at Birmingham, though, so I thought about the brawl at Birmingham, but I don't think it was anything like that.
Okay.
No, I mean, the NBA, right now, it is a long season. You're kind of in this lull. And for the Cavs, they're on this upswing right now, which is great for us here in Cleveland. To the national perspective, I try not to get angry about it. I try not to. People in Cleveland, we have this thing. We take that as a shot against our city. When we don't get the coverage we feel like we deserve. And it goes back to some of the wounds, I guess, that we have, that people crap on our town. And I will tell you this, as people, doing this job as long as I have, there are people that come in from out of town that have never been here before. Even in my personal life, friends or family, or not family, these are all here, but like people that come into Cleveland that have never been here before, they all leave and they go, oh, it's a pretty good city. I didn't really think of that. Like, we just get such that bad mark. And I think when the Cavs are a team like this where they should be getting more coverage and run, don't let it bother you. I try not to let it bother me. I know people want to jump onto it. I don't either. The games are what matter. And that's why tonight, on a national stage, is it not 8 o'clock? This better be on TNT or ESPN or something. It's got to be. How can it not be?
It's on Peacock.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh. We live in that world now. I had to ask. I was like, wait a minute. Are you serious? Is this game not on national TV tonight? I don't think it is.
No, it's not.
The hell is that?
I'm just going to stream East it. Oh,
I'll watch it on Bally's. Shout out to John and Brad and Serena and everybody. I'll watch it on the Bally's. That's what I do.
I'm going to go to jail tonight for watching it on Stream East.
Yeah, don't you giving that stuff out? Is that a streaming site you're not supposed to be on? I don't know what that is. I don't need to know about that. How's this not a national game tonight?
Because nobody cares about the Cavs.
Okay, now there's your little respect there.
That's what I'm saying. Well, let's compare it. What are the national games? What are the games tonight?
I don't even know.
Let's see. ABC, Suns, Mavericks. Okay, that's fine.
That's a good game.
But see, like, this is so stupid.
But is that not a later game? Because isn't that a game that you couldn't use?
It's 8:30, actually.
There must be.
But this is stupid as hell. Spurs Thunder 9:30 ESPN because of Wembanyama. They're 8 and 35.
But that's a later game too, right?
But 9:30. It's not that late. 9:30. It's not like it's a West Coast 11 tip off or 10:30.
I guess TNT doesn't have any games tonight. It's weird. I thought. Well, I guess it is Wednesday. But TNT's got all the Thursday.
Thunder Spurs. How, like, I get it, they was probably already scheduled because you knew, like, Victor, but it's like nobody, like, no. I guess it is rookie of the year kind of.
Well, Webby's, yeah, I mean, they're
Chet, but still, it's crazy.
The Spurs are just so trash too. Like, they're just so bad.
I told you,
so bad.
I swear, I called Chet was going to win rookie of the year over one.
Well, you're looking pretty good on that right now. Back to the Adrian Griffith because I want to tie it back to JB Bickerstaff and. In the NBA with all these moves, and I guess just the fact that they're going to go hire Doc Rivers.
That's so stupid.
Like, and I, to a level, respect Doc Rivers. Find somebody else. Like, really? And that even goes even further about JB. And I am so happy that things have been calmed down with JB and people aren't freaking out. Do you really want to go back to that? Well, that's the other thing. I always say this about you're going to fire somebody. Who are they going to replace them with? I don't think that's a massive upgrade there. And the other thing about JB that we have got to respect, and Cleveland.com had this article about the change in defensive philosophy that JB Bickerstaff has had and how that's reinvigorated this team, and then him navigating not having Mobley and Garland. There's some parallels here to Kevin Stefanski. And I'm not saying that JB Bickerstaff's going to go win NBA Coach of the Year, right?
I almost said that on the show yesterday.
But, like, the job that he has done has been so impressive. Be thankful. Be thankful that JB Bickerstaff is the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. You should be. I think he does a really good job. And when you look around the collective of the NBA, finding coaches is not that easy. It really isn't. And even on star teams, because there is a little bit of I'll say sickness because I can't think of anything else, that you have this coach that you feel like takes you to a certain level, but then doesn't take you over the top, right? It's the Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr thing. And you've got legacy coaches that are at their job that'll never leave. But just think about it. Mike Budenholzer won the NBA championship just a couple of years ago, and they still felt like they needed to move on.
Perfect example, Dwayne Casey, Toronto Raptors.
Same thing.
Number 1 in the East, but they couldn't beat LeBron. See ya.
And
what they do, Nick Nurse.
And sometimes that can work out. But the relationship between the player and the coach in the NBA is more important than I think any other sport. I really think that. Because your players are going to get you fired. Your players will go to ownership, no questions, and go, hey, we got to get this guy out of here. And you have a roster of 12 guys, 14, but really 12 guys. And you're also talking about a group of usually 4, maybe 5 guys that you need to keep happy. The coddling of the stars,
That's why Ty Lue worked out so well.
That's my thing. He made a relationship. He built a relationship between he and the players. Tell me that JB has not done that. And you gotta win games. You gotta prove your worth. I understand that. You gotta say that I'm the right guy to lead you. But the players gotta believe that. And with how they've navigated this stretch, is there anybody on that team that doesn't believe in JB?
What's that? What was that Michigan dude's name? Bayline?
Oh, John Beilein, yeah.
I feel like him and JB polar opposites.
Well, I didn't like the Beilein hire, and there's so many stories like, again, Dan Gilbert with Michigan, and just you want to know the number one reason I didn't like it was the age gap, and that proved to be the slugs and thugs comment or whatever he did say or didn't say. But my thing is, and it goes back to the NFL too. I think college coaches are college coaches and pro coaches are pro coaches, and Billy Donovan has kind of done both. Fred Hoiberg kind of did both. Like Mike Woodson, who's now at Indiana, they kind of did both. There's more carryover in the NBA than there is in the NFL. But that was a hire that I was like, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. And it didn't obviously go all well. But that's the thing. JB has learned a lot with his team. Now, eventually, could we find ourselves in a similar situation where we're at a point where we think JB has taken us to the level the max level, we've hit the ceiling? Those are good problems to have. That's in the future. We'll talk about that years to come. Right now, I think he's doing a great job. I think he's doing a fantastic job. He's made some of these changes, but his team is believing in what JB Bickerstaff is doing.
Yeah.
You could be where the Bucks are at right now.
And even to go kind of piggyback off of that, JB Bickerstaff, that was 1 year with Donovan Mitchell. And we got to the first round.
Right.
Before that, it was a very young Darius Garland, a very young Evan Mobley. So this is, I look at it as really the second true year with JB to where you can truly fairly evaluate JB Bickerstaff.
And this is a year that has fair expectations.
Right.
Like, this is a year that we all expect to go to the first round. You need to get out of the first round. And there will be conversations. If this goes bad, there will be conversations at the end of the season. But for right now, I'm all in on JB Bickerstaff. The blow to the Cavs yesterday was Tristan Thompson. 25-game suspension. I Googled quickly.
Dude, yeah.
A WebMD doctor over here, which is what I do. And I will say this, because I can't even pronounce the word of what this.
How do you spell it?
Hey, let me Google it here. Because it was something, the first thing I Googled,
Butamorin?
it said something about anabolic.
Yeah.
I'm on a website right now.
It's a potent, long-acting, orally active, selective, and non-peptide agonist of the ghrelin receptor.
Oh, agonist, yeah.
Segretose.
Oh, of course, yes. And then I had somebody tweet me, like, you can get this over the counter, and it sounded like it was a weight loss thing or a lean muscle thing. So I'm on a website. I don't even want to know what this website is. The other one was SARM LGD 4033. Now, if you're taking 4032, no, I'm just kidding. Which is a non-steroid commonly used by bodybuilders and weightlifters for muscle enhancement. At the end of the day, number one, I don't think he took a tainted supplement, okay? It's not like he went to Mexico and ate some bad meat and then failed a drug test. So that's number one. Number two, it is only 25 games. And I guess the one thing he tested positive for, also Joakim Noah tested positive 4 years ago. I don't know.
I thought we were done with Tristan Thompson cheating scandals.
That was the layup of all jokes yesterday. Okay, yes, he and Chloe and whatever. I hope he's doing well. That's fine. Whatever. The thing is, Tristan was giving you some good minutes. And what he brought to this team, you will miss. Now, it's 25 games. He'll be back for the end of the regular season. He'll be back for the playoffs. But that hurts. And I never thought I'd be sitting here in a world saying that Tristan Thompson coming back to the Cavs would actually hurt if he's not on the floor. But he was a part of the rotation. He played his minutes. And the thing is, he gave the Cavs what we were asking for. That edge. He would go in there and elbow a guy. He would go in there and make it scrappy and not let the Cavs be walked all over. Who are you going to step up with that now? I can't have Jarrett Allen getting all his foul trouble. It's not quite as easy to tell Damon Jones, not that one, the other one, to get in there and start roughing guys up. There's a mentality that Tristan Thompson brought to this team that now they are going to have to replace. It was a joke yesterday, but about him going into the rafters, right? And I have long felt that Tristan Thompson does not deserve to have his number 13 retired. Okay.
Hell no.
And I think guys like him, he gets the big banner. He gets the big banner that says NBA champions. It's already up there. And I'll do you one better. I understand Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, and they deserve it more than Thompson. LeBron is the only one, and he will get that. We know that.
Oh, no Kyrie?
Because if I open the door to Kyrie, I'm opening the door to Kevin Love. And then I'm opening the door to Tristan Thompson. If I had to
But
pick,
that's a big gap.
But I'm just saying, I would actually rather just close it all off and straight up say just LeBron. Do you really want Kyrie up there after everything that happened?
So wait, this isn't number retirement. This
Number
is just,
retirement.
Oh.
No, that's what I'm talking about, the number retirement. Getting their numbers up in the raft. That team gets that banner. And that's why the banner goes up there for guys that were a part of that team to look at and say, yes, I was a contributor to that. I'm talking about nobody will ever wear the number 13 again in Cavs history.
Oh, that would be whack.
No, absolutely not. And I like Tristan. He's a great, he goes in the Ring of Honor. Kyrie will go in the Ring of Honor. Kevin Love gets to go in the Ring of Honor. Ty Lue gets to go in the Ring of Honor. Only LeBron gets that jersey up in the rafters. I will never change my stance on that. I'm telling you that right now. Because who is the number one reason that you have a championship? LeBron James. Who is number two in the reason that you have a championship? Dan Gilbert, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. I mean,
the money that he spent? Well, sure.
Yeah.
And then, yes, then I would go Kyrie. Then I would go Kevin Love. Then I would go Ty Lue. People think everybody deserves their jersey retirement, and I just don't buy that. But it was funny. I know people were joking. They're like, oh, steroid user, never going to put that jersey up in the rafters. It wasn't going up for me anyway.
I hope Sam Merrill wasn't taking some of that special
Sam
stuff.
better show up tonight. We got him in our Tipico boost tonight.
It's up.
Is it already? Nice!
I'm getting ready to put it in.
All right, do you want to take a break?
Yeah.
You want to take a break? All right, get a break. We're going to tell everybody about our Tipico boost when we return. I've got some more things I want to get to with the Cavs. We'll also talk a lot of Browns this morning as well. Browns still on that search for an OC. There was a name that came up yesterday. Would you take Arthur Smith here?
No, stop.
Quick instant
I'm
there.
shutting that down immediately.
What do you mean?
No.
What do you mean?
Okay.
I will tell you why. Odds say that he is connected to the Cleveland Browns right now. I will tell you about that when we return.
I'm excited.
We got to hear from Andrew Berry, too. He spoke to the media the other day, and there was a question straight up asked, and I appreciate Tony Grossi asking it because it was a question that I had, too. Should this OC be somehow related to Deshaun Watson, a guy that he's coached before or been around before as a system? I want to hear from AB. I got to take on that. We'll talk Arthur Smith. We got a lot of Cavs coming up. Our soup bracket is hot and heavy. I saw what was an upset early yesterday for New England Clam Chowder.
Was that group one?
Broccoli Cheddar was leading that the last time I checked. I don't know if it was group 1 or group 2.
Yeah, I think Broccoli Cheddar won.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, we'll vote at Matt Fontana Show. We got 2 more to go tonight for your favorite soup. We'll get into Time Hop today. We also got the morning update. We got you locked and loaded right here on a Wednesday, folks. Tipico. We're going to do our Tipico boost coming up here. What you do? Deposit $25. Download the app. Deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want with code Fontana100. Get $100 in bonus bets. You can place it on our boost. Do we should? The Jackets it was 1-1 in the third. We were all good to hit our parlay. They scored a goal with 4 minutes to go to win 4-1. They didn't cover. So we were close. Dude, Marchenko, we did over 1.5 shots. He had 4 shots in the first period. We were close. I feel good about our Cavs boost tonight. Folks, get signed up with Tipico. They're the best. The rewards program is up and running. We have our flex parlays, which I love very much, and, of course, our boost that we do almost every day here on the show with our friends at Tipico. Fontana100 is the code. Sign up there. We'll tell you more about it coming up. Let's catch our break. We'll get the boost up. We'll talk more Cavs. Arthur Smith for the Browns OC. Would you take him? It's next right here on Big Play. Search still on for the Browns offensive coordinator position, and I saw a name yesterday that obviously Ryan is not a big fan of, but nonetheless, could he work here as the OC? We'll talk about it right here, Fontana Show on Big Play. Welcome back. Streaming, Twitch, we're on YouTube, we're up on Twitter as well. So yesterday, I saw this from Diana Rossini, that former Falcons head coach Arthur Smith has received serious interest from more than 7 teams about joining their offensive staff as the offensive coordinator. He will have options. Well, Ryan, I did a quick search yesterday on NFL offensive coordinators. Do you know at this moment how many jobs are vacant? 8. So if it was more than 7, that would mean almost every single team that has an opening is interested in Arthur Smith, including the Cleveland Browns. You want to run through the list?
Yeah.
New England Patriots, the Bengals, because Brian Callahan left, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cleveland Browns, which is weird. 3 out of the 4 teams in the AFC North don't have an OC. The Raiders, who still need to hire their... Well, no, Antonio Pierce is there, so they need to hire... And they got Tom Telesco, which is interesting there. But they need one. Then the Eagles, the Saints, and the Seahawks. So if I just wanted to look at it from this standpoint, Seahawks, Saints, Eagles, Raiders, Browns, Bengals, Steelers, and the Patriots. Number 1... We're not the worst on that list. That goes to the New England Patriots. And there will be other moves, I feel. Once Tennessee, if Brian Callahan wants to keep Tim Kelly, we'll see. But the thing is, you're also not near the top. If you had your choice, I would think the Bengals might be the number 1 spot to go for an OC. I would feel probably a little bit better about the Eagles, but there's a lot of pressure with that. But maybe you could have a job opening there if you need to slide in quickly to becoming a head coach.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Eagles?
I might say the Browns over the Eagles.
Would you take the Saints or the Seahawks over the Browns?
No.
Okay. So the Browns are up. Would you agree with me the Bengals are the number 1 opening?
100%.
Okay.
Easily.
So then maybe the Browns are what? 2 or 3,
I
which
would
is
say
important.
2, but
Okay.
yeah. And then, yeah.
All right.
Tier-wise, you're right on, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're close. And you would sell whoever this OC is on what? Deshaun Watson is coming back. You're going to have potentially Nick Chubb. But you might want to go Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. And I mean, again, I would say Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown. There's a lot more pressure there, too. Even Seattle, 3 good wide receivers. I think a really good running back in Kenneth Walker. Like, you could talk to me about Seattle on that. But the thing is, Arthur Smith, apparently the Browns court Diana Rossini to be one of those teams. You instantly said no. Now, Arthur Smith, while it went bad in Atlanta, you got to go back to what he did with Tennessee. And he didn't have all these amazing pieces that he had in Tennessee, and that was part of the job of why he got it down in Atlanta. But his job with the OC there for Tennessee for 2 years, I thought was pretty good. Before that, he had spent almost 10 years in the Tennessee organization. So there's really no comparisons for me to say he's coached a quarterback like Deshaun Watson. And that kind of gets us to our question here. Is that something the Browns should consider? Is that something when they sit down with these candidates, do you put more weight on the fact of somebody that has had a tie to Deshaun Watson? Now, that question was asked to Andrew Berry the other day in his press availability. Does it matter to find a coach that has some sort of connection with Deshaun Watson? Here's Andrew Berry asked that question on Monday.
Okay, I'll answer one question, Tony, on the coaching staff. You got me. All right. I don't. We're going to look for the best people. We're just going to look for the best people, and it's just as simple as that.
As you ascertain who the best people are, would not an element of that be this guy is the best for our quarterback? Andrew Berry doesn't want to say anything, and he never does. That's fine. I'm going to speak as if I were Andrew Berry for a second and say, yeah, that better be on the list. That has got to be something that is important to interviewing these candidates. And it doesn't have to be that he has a direct relationship with Deshaun Watson. I'm not asking him to go hire Quincy Avery, okay? You need to go find somebody. I'm talking about a scheme and a philosophy on offense that has got to match up with Deshaun Watson. It's okay to say that. And I know Andrew Berry won't, because they're in the process of hiring people and interviewing people, and they don't want to let anything out. They won't let any little piece of information come out. But accept it and say that it's okay to admit we are going to look for an offensive coordinator with Deshaun Watson being our number one priority, because it is the number one priority. It is the number one thing that I would ask any OC when they sit down with Gerard Johnson like they did, if they sit down with Arthur Smith, when they talk to Andy Dickerson, when they talk to Ken Dorsey. A good line of questions would be, what are you going to do to fix Deshaun Watson? What did you see in our offense with Watson that you didn't like? What are things that you did like? That has got to be the sole focus. That has to be it. And it's okay to admit that. There's nothing wrong with saying that. And people get all tied up of, well, it's not just about the quarterback, or it shouldn't just be about one guy. No, it kind of is. It really is. And this hire, I do not have a problem admitting that. And I know the Browns never would, but if they did, I would take no issue whatsoever if they said, we hired this guy solely to fix Deshaun Watson. I go to Stump Mitchell. Stump, I know he's been all over the place. He was on the Big Play Cleveland show on Monday night. And he said Deshaun Watson had some mechanical issues that they needed to fix. Quarterbacks are never a finished product. There's always things that you're working on. And it's such an intricate position and footwork and your shoulders and all that kind of stuff. And even now, overcoming an injury, this offseason might be that little reset where you got a little vibe and a little piece of what Deshaun Watson is, but there are very clearly things that are wrong. There are things that he needs to fix. And I would have no problem admitting that we will find somebody who maybe even sole job is to fix that. Now, you also, I think, need a quarterbacks coach. Do you not? Didn't Alex Van Pelt kind of take that role last year? I think the Browns need a quarterbacks coach too. So if you bring somebody in that has that dual role, that's their job. So I would have no qualms about sitting down with these people and saying, here are 5, like starting the interview with, what do you see out of Deshaun Watson? Yeah, you could talk to me about Amari Cooper and David Njoku and the offensive line and all that. What are you going to do to help us with Deshaun Watson? All your eggs are in that basket. So why would you not approach your offensive coordinator hiring the same way? All our eggs are in this basket. So I want to approach the OC hire too. And the thing is, as they talk to, again, I'm going out the Diana Rossini report, where she said that over 7 teams have reached out to Arthur Smith. Again, by my count, there's only 8 offensive coordinator openings. So more than 7 would be 8, and that means the Browns would have interest in him, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Ryan, your instant reaction was what? Hell no, right? Hell no. I will calm you on this. They are going to interview a lot of people, and that's the right thing to do. I would actually be upset if they didn't interview Arthur Smith. Take your bias out of it if you can for a second. Is he a qualified offensive coordinator? Is he a qualified person for this position?
Absolutely.
Then you interview.
Yeah, I'm
Gerard Johnson, qualified for this job. You interview. You find all these people that you can. The other idea that I was thinking about too was how slow the rest of the hires have gone have actually kind of hurt the Browns. I'd like all these positions to be filled, because then you're going to have the shakedown on what coaches are falling through. We'll get our answer about Bill Callahan, because that's just, I'm telling you, it's happening. It's happening. I think people are preparing themselves for that Bill Callahan's going to leave and go coach with his son in Tennessee, and that's fine. Deal with it. But the other shakeup of, what if somebody calls and they hey, Chad O'Shea, what are you doing? Come on over.
Losing Bill Callahan, Matt, in your opinion, how much effect does that necessarily have on just next season? Take a future out of it, but just next season, because you already have established guys at those positions.
Right, but you're also facing this massive question of what you're doing at tackle. And I will start it, as I said yesterday, I have a lot of faith in Scott Peters. Scott is the assistant offensive line coach. There are people around the league that feel like he's ready to take over a room. And that's what any organization would dream of. You have this star guy at the position who's grooming other coaches and teaching them and showing them the ways, and then they ascend up to the position. So I will start by saying I would feel good about Scott Peters taking things over. The problem that I have is you face your biggest question in quite a few years at what are you going to do with the tackles? And we've talked to Jack Duffin last week about that. Jack had a bit of a revolutionary thing where bring all three of them back. If anything has told you one of these guys is going to miss time.
Yeah, for real.
The thing is, for the Browns, the clock is ticking to use up DeJuan Jones' rookie deal. What you would love to have is DeJuan Jones flip over to be your left tackle. You use up your rookie year of not paying him. And then again, if you got to pay him down the road or, left tackles get paid, sure, all that kind of stuff. This was not recently, but this was something that when DeJuan Jones first got injured and people were all talking about him left versus right, the money-saving move would be to keep him at right tackle. And that's not a bad thing to say. You can scratch off the list of right tackle for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
But if you're playing those salary cap games and then you rotate the left, I don't know. Those are all questions they got to figure out. So I would feel bad if you lose Bill Callahan when you are facing this massive question on the offensive line. But when they look at the OC position, they're waiting just like, again, how all the rest of it's going to shake out. And the fact that you haven't had a lot of hirings, I think, is really slowing things down for the Cleveland Browns. Andrew Berry can't and won't admit that Deshaun Watson should be the number one priority for an OC. But I will say that here. He needs to be the number one priority for this OC. He's got to be it. And I'm putting all that down. And that's how those guys answer that question would really frame how I view things. Because let me come at it from this standpoint. Would you not view the OC as a bit of a bonus position? Let me explain. You have an offensive-minded head coach that calls the plays. If this was the Pittsburgh Steelers, your OC runs the offense. You don't have that here. You already have Kevin Stefanski. So that's why I would not have an issue saying that this one position that is not even the most important to our offense is solely dictated and predicated on Deshaun Watson improving. What's so bad about that? This is not the hire that it would be for other teams because you got to have a guy that calls plays, because you have to have a guy to completely fix the offense. Again, you could look at a lot of other teams. Their offense is broke. They got a lot of problems, and you got to clean this up bad. Really, I know I'm boiling this down a little. The Browns really have one problem, and it's the biggest one. It's getting Deshaun Watson to play well. Health is a part of that, sure. Yes, I get all of it. But you got one job. You got one job. And I don't have a problem just calling it for what it is. Hire this OC for Deshaun. Should he have input on it is the question, right? Would you sit down with Deshaun Watson and ask him?
I mean, if the sole purpose is to fix him, you have to. Even if you don't want to take his advice, you still have to ask him what he feels. I mean, I feel like that would just be dumb not to.
See, I'm a little weird on this. I actually don't really care about that. Because as the coaching staff, I'm more interested in what the coaches say about Deshaun than what Deshaun has to say about the coaches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's very fair.
And that's, I know there's personalities and you want to find guys that work well together. You don't want a Todd Haley situation or anything like that. But I'm more interested in what the coaches have to say about Deshaun than Deshaun has to say about the coaches.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So that's where sometimes I think it can get twisted. What I'm asking for is the sole purpose of this OC to fix Deshaun Watson. I actually don't really care what Deshaun Watson thinks about them. I don't. Because you would sell it as this guy is here to help you. This guy is here to help supplement what we're doing. And again, when I look at it from a bonus position that you already have your play caller, because I don't think that's changing. I really don't. This is a bonus position that should be solely based on Deshaun Watson. That's it. And these guys come well prepared for these interviews, and they sit down. I'm sure they're like whenever these interviews are going to happen, the day before they probably watch a lot of tape and they write some notes down and they think this. We talked about Greg Williams that weeks ago, where he goes, I had notebooks prepared for jobs when I would go in and I would tell them what I could fix or what I see. I would sit down with these guys and go, lay it all out for me on Deshaun Watson. What do you see? What do you think we need to fix? And then there's bigger issues with the offense. I know the pre-snap motion and all this other stuff that people are concerned about. That is a part of it. But the number one part of that conversation has got to be Deshaun. It has just got to be Deshaun. We'll get this coming up in hour two, more football. Jeremy Fowler, I love how he does this. He goes around to these executives. He goes around to the NFL executives and gets their predictions. So he sits down. I don't know if he put The NFL team executives, scouts, and personnel figures ESPN spoke to in the recent days and asked them for some of their biggest storylines. So he went around and asked like scouts and he asked executives, all that. And some of these are related to where quarterbacks will end up. I'm interested because I need to keep a quarterback away from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll get to that coming up in hour number 2. We got more Cavs coming up, including Ryan. Are we ready to go? Yes, our typical boost.
You never get it. There you go. There you go.
So far over.
There it is. Plus 600, baby.
Woo!
Sam Merrill over 2.5 threes.
Now.
Brooke Lopez under 2.5
Doing
blocks.
it right now.
And over 235.5 total points scored. Typical boost that up from 500 all the way up to plus 600. Bet $10. Let's get $60 tonight.
Here we go. Typico. Use the code Fontana100 when you sign up. Deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want. And you'll get $100 in bonus bets. Here we go to the NBA. Dude, 600. You want to do it? Are you doing 10?
I'll probably do 10.
I'm doing 10. Boom. Bet placed right there. 10 to win 70. And can I tell you about my rewards there, Ryan? Absolutely. I am inching ever closer to some bonus bets. Folks, the cashback rewards are new at Tipico. For every $100 placed on bets with odds of minus 200 or better. So again, that's pretty good. It's minus 200 or better. You get your cashback rewards. And you add those up. You can use those on straights. You can use them on parlays. And in fact, Ryan, you get 5% on that on the parlays. 3% on straight bets. So I love the promotions, folks. I've been telling you about the Flex Parlay, which I think is just absolutely awesome. It's so great. Get signed up with our friends at Tipico tonight. So for the Cavs, I like Sam Merrill. So I tweeted this out yesterday about where this guy kind of came from. And the three-point shooting that he has meant for this team, it's been really impressive. But it's also, can he keep this going? Like, is this something that I can really kind of count on Sam Merrill to do this in 2 months? I'd be lying to you if I didn't say I had a little fear that this is like a Linsanity thing. You know, not quite to that level. But I really hope the Cavs found something in Sam Merrill. You know, we're going to ride him tonight. There are three, like, dude, there are some times when he shoots and it's going in. You know what I mean? Like the confidence that you have right now with Sam Merrill. What, you didn't like that? What?
Nothing, Matt.
All right.
I just have a sick mind.
Oh, that's fine. You're on the right show, I guess, for that. But I mean, like Sam Merrill, because with everything that he has been able to do on a two-way contract, right? He's not, or is he a standard contract? I gotta look that up. But anyway, like what he's been able to provide is kind of like a little bit for what you thought out of Max Strus, what you found out of George Niang. But for the Cavs for tonight, like, this might be a little coming out party here for Sam Merrill. And I think he's been doing that. The question is, or the thing that we're going to start pushing here, because I know Dave's doing it, Rafa's doing it on Boobies, we need this guy in the three-point contest.
That's what I'm saying.
We need to get Sam Merrill in the push here to get him in the three-point contest. I think that'd be pretty cool. You got his contract up?
3 years, $5 million.
Okay, so he's on a standard contract.
2.8 guaranteed.
There you go. He's on a standard contract. I would say he's playing above that contract, Ryan. I think he is playing well above that contract right now for the Cavs. And to find pieces like that to supplement what you already have, I think is awesome for this Cavs team. And the way the roster is constructed, it's weird for me to say that I feel like Sam Merrill might be a real linchpin for this team. Like he might be a real key player for this Cavs team as they enter this stretch run of the getting ready for the playoffs, which I think is pretty. I didn't think I'd ever say those words, Ryan.
I
don't think
I'd
ever say those words.
I can't say I thought so either.
Let's get to the power rankings. I know I said I don't read too much into them, but I love it because they always do a write-up on the Cavs, and I want to see where we're at. So we start with the ESPN. Where do you think they have the Cavs ranked, young Ryan?
14th.
8. They're up from 10. 8. Dave McMenamin's write-up. The Cavs are on an 8-game winning streak that has rocketed them to 4th in the Eastern Conference standings. And one of those wins might have to do something with the major shakeup in Milwaukee. On Wednesday, we know the Cavs beat the Bucks 135-95, shooting 60% from the field and 43% from behind the arc. Less than a week later, the Bucks dismiss Adrian Griffin. The Cavs can perhaps do even more damage this week, tightening that 3-game gap between them and the Bucks as we face them twice in the next 3 nights. From Dave McMenamin. I go over to CBS Sports. Where do you think they have the Cavs?
11th.
7. Up a spot.
I'm waiting for him to sleep.
No. Cavs aren't just winning without 2 of their 3 best players. They're straight up smashing people. All 3 wins this week came by at least 21 points as the offense put an ungodly number of 129 points per 100 possession while holding opponents to 98. Donovan Mitchell averaging 25 points and 9 assists for the week, but the contributions have come up and down the roster. We did not put our guy George Niang in our boost for tonight, but that's all right.
Yeah.
We'll ride it with Sam Merrill. That's all right. Cavs 7. All right, you want to start at the top? CBS. 76ers are 1. Celtics 2. Nuggets 3. Bucks 4. Clippers 5. You flip it over for ESPN. I think they have this right. The Boston Celtics need to be number 1. So they are number 1. Denver 2. Oklahoma City 3. And the 76ers all the way down at 4. So interesting that the 76ers are 1 in CBS and 4 at ESPN. Who is the East run through right now? Boston, right?
Yeah. 1 seed, 19-1 at home or whatever it is this year. I mean,
I really would love a world that the top 4 just start to separate themselves. I think it is very clear. The 3 best teams in the East, Boston, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia. I hope the Cavs, just like last year, can just solidify that 4 seed and be done with it. And just, get away from the Knicks. Are the Miami Heat good? I feel like there's a lot of people that have a high opinion of the Heat, and I just don't really know.
I don't know. They just got, Terry Rozier yesterday.
Right.
Lost Kyle Lowry. But, does that really move the needle that much?
I don't know. And then the same thing around the league, too.
Knicks, so
then the Knicks, okay, they get Anunoby. Then you talk about the Pacers getting Siakam. I think of all the moves, it is Pascal Siakam going to the Pacers. That they're a team on the up and come. Dude, mark my words. I think the Pacers are going to get the 5 seed.
That's what I was about to say.
I think they're about to get up to the 5 seed. So you got a Cavs-Pacers first round, which would be a really tough matchup for the Cavs.
Yeah.
Because I think the Pacers are on the up and come here. But still, the Cavs are in this position now to prove and get these big wins. And really, I just want them to stay in that 4 seed. I kind of want them just to stick around where they're at. And we'll see. Tonight's a big game for that. All right, we got a lot in the morning update coming up, a lot of things around the league when it comes to coaching in the NFL. We got the Baseball Hall of Fame. And I got to make the statement on it. It's the same statement that everybody has. Nobody cares. And these baseball writers that are all high and mighty, and they think they're the PC police, and they're the ones that got to tell us morals, and the steroid users and all that other kind of crap. We'll get to that coming up in the morning update. We got a lot. Wednesdays here on Big Play. We got Bruce Drennan tonight, right? Bonus time with Bruce Drennan last night. Did you see who was on Josh and Maria Cribs? Denzel Ward stopping by Josh and Maria Cribs. So I do want to hear some of the things maybe that Denzel had to say last night on the Josh and Maria Cribs show, the return. So that was last night. Enter the Jungle. It is Enter the Jungle, right?
It's Enter the Jungle.
Enter the Jungle. James Rapine, newest show, Tuesday nights, Bengals.
I got to tell you, Matt, because I was like, I have to mention this on the show tomorrow. I was watching Enter the Jungle. I mean, James Rapine and his co-hosts are amazing.
James really good.
Yeah. They were talking about Burrow. Obviously, they had a kind of parallel with their quarterback getting hurt. But, they were just talking with such a strong, confident tone about, we have problems and we're going to get them fixed and Joe Burrow's going to get healthy and, we'll place him in. He's immediately, again, a top 5 quarterback. I'm like, God, would that be nice to be able to say that about our quarterback?
Well, and I did catch a few minutes of it last night, too, and they were talking like, how are we going to address these problems in the draft or free agency? And I was like,
oh, must be nice.
Draft, it must be nice. So we got it all for you on Big Play, folks. We're all over. Follow us at Big Play on Twitter. We're on YouTube. All the channels there, and all the shows have their individual accounts, us ourselves, at Matt Fontana Show, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and now streaming this morning on Twitch, which has been a great little addition to our show here. So check us out where you can, including Drennan tonight on Bonus Time. All right, let's get to the morning update. Stories you got to know. We'll do it next right here on Big Play. I'm in such a bad, like, I don't even care about the Baseball Hall of Fame anymore, which is probably a bad thing. The Hall of Very Good, whatever. We'll get to it. Morning update. Ryan's got all the stories. NFL coaching, NBA in action. Yes, Cooperstown got a new group. Get to it. Take it away, Ryan.
All right. Well, Tristan Thompson in trouble for cheating again. He gets suspended 25 games for illegally taking ibutamoren, Matt, which we Googled.
And with a quick Google,
it doesn't seem very safe indeed, but he'll miss tonight's game starting his suspension against the Bucks.
I mean, listen, he's an older guy in the league, kind of from that standpoint. He was trying, I don't know, whatever. He took something, he got caught, he got suspended, he's going to face a suspension. I think I saw somewhere he's going to lose like $700,000 in salary too by missing these 25 games, so that's not good either. He got caught. I don't know what to tell you. Like, they have all these testing protocols now, which is not easy to sneak, and especially this stuff doesn't sound like, you knew what you were doing. You knew what you were taking. He got popped. It is what it is. Sorry to Tristan. The impact is going to be more like,
I totally agree.
It's going to be more that you needed him. He was actually playing meaningful minutes for your basketball team.
I wonder if that was why.
Yeah, but he was playing. I guess I don't know when he started taking this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Did he feel like he was slowing down? Did he feel like he was I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Just keep doing what you were doing is what I was going to ask for. But Sorry to Tristan. Enjoy your time off. So the thing is, he could be around the team. He's allowed to practice. I think he's allowed to travel. He just can't be at the arena 2 hours before tip. So 2 hours before tip, he has to leave the arena. So he can go to shoot around, he can go work out, but he just can't be in the arena 2 hours before tip, and he obviously can't be there for the game either. So
well, staying with the Bucks, having the second best record in the NBA, almost halfway through the season wasn't enough for head coach Adrian Griffin. He gets the boot, and rumors has it that his replacement might be Doc Rivers, Matt.
I mean, I don't understand. I wasn't there. I'm not one of these players that feel like you lost it. Does Doc Rivers walk through that door and just go, man, look at all these accomplishments that I've had and all these teams? Or is that instantly going to fix the Bucks? And as a Cavs fan, I'd love them to screw this up. I would love for the Bucks to get into a tailspin over this and start to suck and start to not be really good. I mean, the problem in the NBA is coaching really that important? I mean, I'm minimizing it, but still, like, whatever. I mean, I just don't understand the Doc Rivers angle. Like, does he walk in there and give that instant cred? Does he walk in there and say, I'm not going to take any of your crap and whip everybody into shape and get this team back turned around? Is Doc Rivers overrated or underrated as a head coach?
Maybe properly rated.
I think he's a little overrated. A little bit.
He's got, what, one ring?
Yeah. Celtics.
That was what? What year is that?
2008. One-time coach of the year. They listed him as the top 15 coach. You know the NBA 75th anniversary team in 2021? They listed him as the top 15 coach in NBA history.
Yeah, then that's probably overrated.
I think for one ring. Again, for one ring. I think he's a little overrated. He's gone from the Magic way back in the day, the long run with the Celtics. He was with the Clippers for that 7 years, 76ers for the last 3. Now, was he on TV? Wasn't he doing TV and stuff like that?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so I got to pull him out of that. I don't know. I guess if you really, really had to make the move, fine. I just don't understand. I guess Doc Rivers is the best of the best for what's available. I didn't run through all the available coaches and things like that, but I guess Doc Rivers is the best one available.
Well, Matt, the Greater Cleveland Sports Awards were yesterday at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Notable winners include Myles Garrett got his second Professional Athlete of the Year award. Meanwhile, the Browns, winning the playoffs, got the award for the best moment.
Yeah, and I love the Greater Cleveland Sports Awards, and shout out to David Gilbert and everybody that was over there. I know we had some contingents there. I know Gab was doing hosting. It's just always a great night, and I have been there, dude, like 8 times in my career, always doing shows from there. It's a lot of fun, and it's getting to honor some of the best players and getting to honor also some of the best high school and collegiate athletes, and they can kind of picture themselves that were on the same stage as Andrew Barry and Joel Bitonio and all the other presenters. I love it. I think it was a lot of fun, so congratulations. Sounded like it was a great time last night, as always, over there at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. I will say that moving it there was great because it was at the Renaissance, the hotel, for such a long time, and it was great over there, but really it was pretty awesome to have it over at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. I mean, that makes it feel really big. So shout out to everybody. I know it's always a great collection of the media people in town. It's always great to see everybody. So shout out to the Sports Commission. I hope it's a great night.
Well, Matt, I woke up this morning. I saw a notification on my phone from ESPN that they released the next class for the Hall of Fame for the baseball.
Oh, yeah, they did that.
I couldn't wait. I jumped out of bed. I opened the article. Carlos Beltran headlined it. Meanwhile, Joe Mauer and Todd
Mauer deserves to go. Beltre deserved to go. Todd Helton, like, folks, baseball, they just have turned themselves into the moral police. And these writers, and everybody puts out their ballots now. I don't want it. I get... Baseball's got so many problems, and it's sad to see because I love the sport. I don't care. And apathy is the worst thing. I don't want to sit here and tell you how angry about Kenny Lofton or Omar Vizquel or Manny Ramirez or, this steroid guy or that steroid guy. The worst thing that you could ever say is that somebody is apathetic towards it, and that is exactly what I don't care. I don't. And baseball is going to have to change if they want people to start caring. the thing is, the selection, you are in this point right now where in a couple of years, it's going to start to source itself out, right? The steroid people will be off the ballot, and you'll start getting more notable names, kind of like Joe Mauer's a Hall of Famer. There's no question about that. MVP, a 3-time batting champion. He is a Hall of Famer. I don't have a problem with that. Eventually, you're going to start getting the better names. You know what I mean? The thing is, I think the process is broken. They need to come up with a better way to do this. And baseball is just in this lull right now. I don't know what they do to fix it, but dude, I don't care. I really don't. And the thing is, for my team, for the Guardians, they're not going to have anybody coming up. Like Corey Kluber probably should go as a Hall of Famer. He's a 2-time Cy Young winner. I would think that would be enough, but that's the problem. I tell you this. I have just sourced the issue of the Baseball Hall of Fame. And you want to know what it is? I don't know who makes it. Guys that you would think instantly are in, nope, because God forbid anybody gets it on the first ballot. And these baseball writers that think that they're holier than thou and that they hold the key to heaven and the doors and the pearly gates to the Cooperstown and the legacy, the people that hold on to this and they feel like, oh, dude, I got all this power. And I got all this power on this piece of paper, and you're not getting my check. You're not getting it. You don't deserve it. I hate it. It's stupid. Because there are people, like, the Football Hall of Fame doesn't deal with that. When guys make it, there's no question. When's the last Hall of Famer that you're like, yeah, you know, I don't really know if they deserve to make? Football doesn't have that problem. They really don't. And they really have a backlog of players that are deserving to make it. Baseball, as long as they keep turning away from the steroid guys, which it's the same thing, and it comes back to the question, the age-old sports talk question of the steroid guys and what you feel about the same thing. I don't care. I really don't care. I grew up in the steroid era. Does Barry Bonds go down as one of the best baseball players of all time? Yeah, but he took steroids. Mark McGwire took steroids. They can deny it. Some have admitted it. I don't really care anymore. And the thing is, they don't want the sacred halls of Cooperstown to be infected by the roid users. What does it matter? And that's my thing. You want to keep them out? I don't even care. Fine. Keep them out. So hopefully in a couple of years' time, as this can roll on more and more, eventually it won't matter because you're going to have nothing but clean guys that deserve to make it. Mike Trout will go. I wish Jose Ramirez would go.
He'll be in there. I think he'll be in there.
He's got to win an MVP.
Yeah.
I think he's got to win an MVP. I think for a Hall, I say that for a lot, like football's different because it's so many different positions and things like that. My mark is this. Can you say that you were the best player at your position for at least a 3-year run? That starts the conversation. Then I'll listen to All-Stars or All-Pros or Pro Bowls or batting titles or awards. Basketball's different too because you've got FIBA and the Olympics and all that other kind of stuff. But I just look at it from this standpoint. Can you unequivocally say that you were the best at your position for at least a couple of year stretch run? And if you can say that, then I'm interested to hear your candidacy for it. And then you can add in some of the other things. That's where it starts. I think Corey Kluber winning 2 Cy Youngs, he deserves that. I think he deserves to go. Jose Ramirez, I'd like to believe, has a chance to make the Hall of Fame. I don't know if he'll make it or not.
Well, speaking of awards, Matt, Hollywood is not, or I should say Barbie fans in Hollywood are not happy with the Oscars. Greta Gerwig gets snubbed for Best Director. Meanwhile, Margot Robbie gets snubbed for a nomination for Best Actress. But Ryan Gosling as Ken and America Ferrera in it for Best Supporting Actress, they get nominated. Meanwhile, Oppenheimer leads all films with 13 Oscar nominations.
Well, didn't everybody say that was actually the plot of Barbie? Like, this is exactly how it played out?
Well, people were...
I don't know. I didn't see
Barbie.
People
are saying, like, it's ironic that a movie that tries to defy the patriarchy, then you see that she's not directed or nominated for Best Director. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
The Oscars are meant to be about like the artistic side of the films, right? So it's not always your favorite film or the most grossing movie. It's not like Avengers went and took a bunch of Oscars every year.
And for people that are upset, okay, a nomination, realistically, I don't care about a nomination. It's whether you get the award or not for me.
Well, I mean, there are some people, they've been nominated X number of times.
The nominations are an important thing when you look at, career success for something like the Oscars. But, like, a movie like Barbie isn't even in the same level, isn't even standing on the same surface as Oppenheimer. Both in terms of, in my opinion, how good the movie was, and how much effort it took. Like, I get Barbie was fun, and it was a good movie. But Oppenheimer was, a masterpiece.
Well, and that's why, again, what'd you say, 13 nominations? I mean, it is obviously the best movie of the year. And again, I haven't seen it. I'm going to eventually. But, like, it's a little like the Rock Hall. You got to start opening up your blinders a little bit. It's not just the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There are rap artists. I don't know about country artists ever one day. But you got to open. So, for the Oscars, is Barbie the prototypical movie that it's not necessarily, but if it did great things or if Ryan Gosling was that good in acting, I don't know.
Barbie was never in a million years going to win Best Picture because go look at the last 10, 20 Best Picture. Movies like that don't win. Movies like Oppenheimer win.
No, sure, and I expect Oppenheimer to do. The fun thing, and I don't think we do it on typical. You can go bet on the Oscars.
Oh, I will.
Which I think
I'm
is fun.
definitely. I actually don't think.
I know people that do Oscar parties and like they watch all of them.
I don't think Oppenheimer's going to win Best Picture.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Like, in my opinion.
Do you want to know who you got to talk to about that? Bruce. Do you know Bruce is a giant movie buff? Yeah. Bruce Drennan.
I'll pick his brain.
So I'm sure tonight on Come Get Some on Bonus Time, he'll have a good segment where he watches all of those.
I should ask him about that. I'm going to. But I think Christopher Nolan will get Best Director, but I could see them going another route for Best Picture.
I don't know. I don't watch. I can't even tell you the last movie. I'll tell you this. I can't tell you the last new movie that I watched. I'm trying to think. I don't even know.
For anybody that's listening, please let me know if it's worth taking 3.5 hours out of my life to watch Killers of the Flower Moon with De Niro and DiCaprio. Because last time I watched a De Niro movie that was 3.5 hours was The Irishman, and I wasted 3.5 hours of my life.
It was not very good. But Oscars are out. We'll have to get ready for that. Not really. Ask Drennan about it. He knows everything we need to know. All right, we head over to the the NFL. Jeremy Fowler goes around the league with NFL executives, and he asked them 8 of the biggest trending questions. Now, some of these I don't really care about. Chase Young reuniting here. There was a bunch of quarterback ones. And here's how it works. Jeremy Fowler went around to league executives, not starters, but who's going to start someplace, what he asked. Executive scouts, and here's some of the things that came up. Number 1, Russell Wilson goes to the Raiders. As we outlined previously, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, and Minnesota are among the teams on the radar. But one NFC executive sees another outlet. The Raiders need a vet, and they are one of Wilson's original teams that he wanted to go to back in 2021. He can stay in the AFC West, West Coast, and Ciara can do her Las Vegas residency and not have anything messed up there. It all works out, I guess.
That's hilarious.
I could see that. Going on. Number 2 on the quarterback situation. Kirk Cousins will join Bill Belichick at the Atlanta Falcons, and they will win the NFC South. Let me see if I can find who this is.
That would be a good
team. AFC executive. Cousins very well might resign in Minnesota, but if not, the Falcons offer several high-level skill players and an improving defense, and they're a proverbial quarterback away. Belichick can help a talented yet underachieving team in Atlanta. Is that an AFC executive said? And Cousins would be a great fit there. We've talked a lot about the coaching search and how they're piecing this together with the coaches. We got to take an interest on this quarterback watch because keep one away from Pittsburgh. I believe Pittsburgh is a similar team to maybe Atlanta, maybe some of these other squads. They are just a quarterback away. They are just I don't want to say a Jimmy Garoppolo. By the way, did you see that study that came out?
No,
he was named the sexiest quarterback. Joe Burrow was 2. Sexiest NFL player. Best looking NFL player. Jimmy Garoppolo, Joe Burrow was up there.
This isn't just quarterback.
No, it's all CeeDee Lamb was like 5. Oh my God, there was a kicker on it. Harrison Butker, I think, was on it. I don't know. It was a study I read the other day. They took AI and they plugged in what most people would find as attractive. And they came up with the list. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, is always on that list of the best-looking quarterback or best-looking players. But it was like Garoppolo, Burrow, Harrison Butker, CeeDee Lamb was on it. I can't remember who the other ones were. Did you find it?
It says, I don't know if this is the exact one you were looking, but Jimmy is one.
Oh, he always is.
Saquon's 2. Jalen Hurts 3.
No, that's not the list I was looking at.
Joe Burrow, they have at 4.
Okay, there was another list. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I thought hang on. Wait. See if I can find it. I don't know. I just popped up because I was thinking about Jimmy Garoppolo. But anyway, like the Steelers might be that team. Again, I think a lot of people look at Kirk Cousins. They feel like it could be Kirk Cousins. Keep them away. And also these shifts of these other teams, right? If you believe that Russell Wilson can still play, did you find it?
It says, here's Gamblino's AI-generated list.
That might be it then.
So one's Jimmy. They have Burrow at 4.
Okay. Who else was on the list?
Joey Bosa, 2.
Yes, this is the list that I saw. Yes, and then Harrison Butker was there too. Yes, this is the list that I saw.
CeeDee Lamb 5,
That's
Travis Kelce 6.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Saquon Barkley should be up there, and so should Jalen Hurts. That's crazy.
There are no Browns on that list?
No.
Damn. What are we doing here? Come on now.
I wonder who's the sexiest Brown. Who's the sexiest Brown?
I think Miles is a good-looking guy. I don't know.
Miles is just ripped.
Yeah, well, that's. I think that's a part of it too.
Yeah,
I think that's a part of all of it. Like Jimmy Garoppolo is always on that list. We're very secure here on the show. That's fine. It's no big deal. Jimmy Garoppolo's a good-looking dude. Joey Bosa, I didn't get that one.
No, hell no.
I don't know about Joey Bosa.
He got a big old face.
Yeah, I don't know. But again, it was AI generated for the best-looking guys. But like, do you think Jimmy Garoppolo, as good as he is, would turn things around?
No.
For the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No.
By the way, it is official. The Titans have hired Brian Callahan. That's official now. They just announced it this morning. Yeah, I mean, like, so the other things in this about the quarterbacks, right? So they think Kirk Cousins could go to Atlanta. Baker Mayfield will re-sign with the Bucs. Okay, that's fine. An NFC executive said that C.J. Stroud will finish in the top 3 in MVP voting next year. Do you believe that?
It's certainly possible. I wouldn't be necessarily shocked.
An AFC scout said the Cardinals, led by Kyler Murray, will make a playoff run next year. I could see that.
No.
Okay. Veteran AFC scout, the Green Bay Packers will win the Super Bowl next year.
No.
Not having it. Not believing it. NFC executive, the 49ers roster will take a step back next year. No NFL team has more star power than the 49ers. They built a perennial winner under head coach Kyle Shanahan and general manager John Lynch. But as league execs have pointed out, the organization has experienced some brain power attrition. Personnel execs have left for other general manager jobs in back-to-back years. There's a lot for Lynch to overcome, said an NFC executive. They could get exposed in free agency and the draft. So you want me to run through all these? You tell me the ones that you like the most to happen? All right, number 1, Russell Wilson goes to the Raiders. The 49ers take a step back. The Packers win the Super Bowl. The Cardinals make the playoffs. C.J. Stroud finishes top 3 in MVP voting. Kirk Cousins and Bill Belichick go to the Falcons. What's the one you like the most?
The 49ers regress, but I don't necessarily think that's very epiphany of me. I mean, as good as you are, you're bound to regress. Same for the Browns defense next year. Like, you can't.
When you're at the top, there's only one way to go.
Right. So that one doesn't.
Long way to the top.
I feel like that one's kind of a cop-out, honestly. After that,
I like the Cardinals making a playoff run. I think they actually will next year.
I like Stroud.
Top 3 MVP.
3 next year. And then
there's not an ounce of my being that buys Kirk Cousins going to Atlanta. He's going back to Minnesota. How could he not?
What makes you think the Cardinals are going to go on a run?
I think that they can make that work with Kyler Murray. I do. And he's a guy that needs talent and they need some help there. But if Jonathan Gannon can, I do believe in Jonathan Gannon a little bit as head coach. I think Kyler Murray is one of those guys. He's so electric. If he can stay healthy, he doesn't need to have a million guys around. You know what I mean? Like him being able to run and make the plays with his feet like he can. I'm not so worried about that. I do think the NFC West is staring down the Bears. Like, somebody's going to suck next year in that division. Somebody's going to suck. Might be the Rams, might be the Seahawks. I don't know. But I think they'll make a run. Now, make the playoffs, I don't know. But I think they'll be, let me put it this way. I think they're going to do a lot better next year. The Packers winning the Super Bowl. Listen, man, I like Jordan Love a lot. He ain't going to win the Super Bowl next year. There is in no way, no world that is happening. That's not at all happening. I think the 49ers taking a step back, sure. And then Wilson going to the Raiders. Because he's going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL next year for somebody. There's only a couple of these jobs open. The Raiders make a lot of sense. Now, the question is, would Denver send him to an in-division opponent? You would say Denver thinks Russell Wilson is trash. What would they care? In a way, that could actually hurt the Raiders. But still, there's a chance that he reclaims some magic and you gave a quarterback to an in-division opponent.
He wasn't even bad last year.
Oh, wait a minute. They can cut him. They're going to cut him. They're not going to have to trade him. They're going to cut him.
They'll cut him March 1st.
I think the Raiders make a lot of sense there. I think Atlanta makes a lot of sense for Russell Wilson, too. Write those down. Those are my two teams, I think, for Russell Wilson. Atlanta or the Vegas Raiders.
I don't know what I think.
Yeah, I could see either one of those teams being somewhere for him. But again, for the Browns' interest, keep these guys away from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because I do think the Steelers are just one team or one quarterback away from being a team that can really, again, I don't want to say be a contender again. Because as things are set up for the AFC North right now, I'd love nothing more than to be able to say one of these teams are the bona fide bottom of the division, right? And for a long time, it was us. I want that to be the Steelers. The Steelers seem to be the easy team to do that. I don't think Baltimore's going anywhere. I don't think the Bengals are going anywhere. And I assume the Browns are going to be contenders each and every year for at least the next 5 years. So you have to have a team that is at the bottom. And the Steelers, as long as they don't have a quarterback, they are going to be the bottom of the barrel. Keep them down there. Keep them away from any semblance of a quarterback in the draft, in free agency, because if they find one, I think they could upset the establishment a little bit here in the AFC North. Harbaugh progressing with the Chargers.
I told you, dude.
Tom Pelissaro a minute ago. Talks are continuing with Harbaugh as the Chargers are also moving forward in their general manager search as they're interviewing a couple people today. You have been on the Harbaugh thing, and I know I was the minority on that. Like, I was in the little bit of the, I was going against the grain that Jim Harbaugh was not going to take that Chargers job. I thought it was going to be Vrabel all the time, but it seems like it is it's like a little too far gone at this point, right? That's got to be Jim Harbaugh's job.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know. I just really thought he was going to go back to Michigan. That's good for Ohio State, certainly, if he doesn't. But it seems like things are just too far gone now that he's going to take that Chargers.
What's next for Michigan? Just hire.
They'll promote more. Yeah, but the thing is, they're missing some of their key guys that left that team, and you expect Michigan to not be very good for the next couple of years, which just warms my heart, which is great. That's awesome. I love that. Fantastic. Keep it that way. But still, I really thought he was a chance he was going to go back. But it seems like that's just completely closed off. I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, let's catch our final break of the morning. When we come back, we're going to get to a little bit of time hop. We'll tell you some things that happened this day in history. We'll run through all that, and we'll get you geared back up for the Cavs and the Bucks tonight, 8 o'clock up there in Milwaukee. We'll remind you of our Tipico boost. We'll get you all ready to go. Cavs and Bucks tonight. Back right after this. let's get to it. A little bit of time hop. I got a big thing in Browns history, man. Big thing in Browns history. 24th of January. Let's go on back, including this day, 2021. The Lions hired John Dorsey. Now, I know Brad Holmes is their general manager, and he deserves a lot of the credit. Would you dare say the Lions' share of the credit?
What? What do you mean?
Brad Holmes. He's the Detroit general manager, and I said I think he deserves the Lions' share of the credit.
Talk about low-hanging.
Yeah.
fruit.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty bad. But the Lions hired John Dorsey. Listen, he drafted Nick Chubb. He got Baker. He drafted Denzel. I think John Dorsey's good at talent evaluation. Being a general manager, crunching the numbers, his attitude, how he's with people in the organization. I don't know about all that.
Buddy boy.
But he helped turn things around here. He did. Now, did Paul DiPodesta take it back over the top and bring in Kevin Stefanski and Andrew? Sure. But some of your good players are on this team in part because of John Dorsey. Traded for Wyatt Teller. That seemed to work out. He brought some good players to this team. And you look at Detroit, I mean, really, his track record. John Dorsey spent a lot of time in Kansas City. Yeah. They were super successful. He helped turn the Browns around here, and now he's up in Detroit. He's playing the NFC Championship game this weekend. I mean, a pretty solid resume there for John Dorsey. Now, not all of that was him as the number one guy, was in Kansas City and here, but I'm certain that he has a little bit of an impact up there in Detroit. This day, 2020, Ben McAdoo. Remember him? He was at the Browns facility, reportedly maybe interviewing for the Browns OC job. Of course, that would go to Alex Van Pelt, who's looking for a job himself right now. Also this day, 2020, George Payton removed himself for the Browns general manager job. A lot of people really wanted him. He's a Denver guy. Or I think he went to Denver after that. I don't know. All right, Ryan, this is the big one. 5 years ago today, do you remember the Seth Wickersham article about the dysfunction with the Cleveland Browns and Hugh Jackson?
No.
Hugh reportedly told Jimmy Haslam to get out of his office after Jimmy was firing him.
Nice.
That's
always a good thing to tell the dude that's paying you.
They were having a video conference or something, and porn started playing up on the wall for all the players to see.
Nice.
Haslam didn't draft Bridgewater because of a handshake.
Nice.
And Dorsey reportedly said he didn't need effing nerds to tell him how to evaluate players.
Let's go.
That all came out from that Seth Wickersham article this day, 2019.
Nice, dude.
And it was, I remember reading through it, and you're like, oh my God. And again, the Browns went through a really hard time, several times over. But some of that's, like, could you ever imagine that stuff happening in this organization right now?
Who was behind the porn? Do they know?
Somebody was like plugged their laptop in to try to play something like tape for the players, and that came up.
Oh, it was a coach?
I don't know. I might have been. I might have been. I don't know. I can't remember. I have to find the article.
Porngate?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that have happened with this, but. All right, here it is. I found it. Jackson asked why he was being fired. The team quit on you, Dorsey replied. At the time, 4 of the 8 Browns games had gone to overtime. Get the out of my office is what Jackson said. A few hours later in the auditorium, the Haslams tried to bring order and chaos to restore the lost faith and project optimism. It was not a long meeting. 2 months later, let me see if I can find. Okay, wait. Haslam's buying the Browns, Phil's optimism, all that kind of stuff, whatever, fine. All right, here's the Bridgewater thing. Okay. Haslam loves the war room and draft day, the power and the potential. Like many owners, he invites his friends and family and team sponsors to see the room. But unlike most, he's often allowed them to stay and watch as the draft unfolds. We know Johnny Manziel, Blake Bortles, could add Derek Carr, Teddy Bridgewater. With the second first-round picks, Farmer targeted Brandon Cooks, but then Manziel started to slide, and Haslam wanted Manziel. Some of the football guys in the room wanted to wait and pick Bridgewater in the second round. But the team had soured on Bridgewater after his interview, dinner, and workout with the team. Something about Bridgewater's handshake rubbed Haslam the wrong way.
Did he give him like a dead fish?
And he told that to team executives. Maybe, I don't know. And then, of course, Manziel texted Dowell Loggins. God, I forgot about that. Brian Hoyer was here and all that. Trying to find this thing. Don't give me the job if you're going to blow it up. Sashi Brown told Haslam, according to Brown's staffer, I don't need to do this. Of course, that's exactly what happened. The fighting started before Jackson even coached a game. The Browns had a deal in place to trade Andy Lee and a 7th-round pick to the Panthers. It was a good deal that helped the Browns trade for Jarvis Landry. But after learning that Lee would be shipped out, Jackson, quote, went nuts and stormed into Haslam's office to protest.
Isn't that the punter?
Yeah. Yep. The Browns adopted a plan to lose and then warned whether the team had lost too much. This all from the Seth Wickersham article from 5 years ago today, which I just, again, we're in a good spot, so it's different to watch it. I'm really just trying to find the one thing that we were all looking for here. Hard Knocks elevated Greg Williams to the interim role. We were all part of that. Jimmy D, team meeting, John Dorsey. All right, okay. Here it is. The outside anger was felt inside the building. Marketing executives wanted employees to see how fans were engaging with the Browns on social media. So they projected the Browns feed of social media onto a giant wall at the facility. It was broadcasting talk radio over the entire building. And one day in particular, marketing staffers searched for the hashtag DP, which they thought was dog pound. The problem is the hashtag carried a few different meanings, one of which triggered an array of porn to be broadcast on the wall for the entire office to see for more than 20 minutes before a tech person killed the feed. There you go. There you go. We got to remember where we were so we can appreciate the current and avoid these mistakes in the future.
You don't think they were just bonding?
I don't. No, I don't, Ryan. I don't think that. Dude, just the fact that we're not there anymore, and I hate to throw dirt on this grave, but it is true, that it is very clear and obvious that Hugh Jackson was poison to this organization. They are now in a good place. They have the right people in place, and you expect to go win a lot of football games. So at least we're not there anymore. But I bring it up as a history lesson, which is a lot of times what Time Hop is, to remember that we're not there anymore.
Can you tell me what DP means?
Go search the hashtag, Ryan.
I'm just kidding.
Do that. Go search the hashtag.
I know.
I'll tell you what. Go put it up on the feed outside of the studios down there.
All right.
Do that. Go ahead and put that.
DP.
Go ahead. Go search it for your young mind there. This day, 2018, Jim Thome was elected to the Hall of Fame. He goes in with Chipper Jones, Trevor Hoffman, and Vlad Guerrero. See, it was just, 7 years ago? Those guys are all bona fide Hall of Famers. You don't have to question it. It's a low pool right now for baseball. Just get through these bad couple of years, and we'll figure it out on the other side. You'll have some more deserving people going in, but I don't really care. This day, 2015, future UFC Hall of Famer Stipe Miocic announced that he would get his first title shot. Of course, would win it. The best sporting event I've ever been to live.
Oh, you were there?
I was there when he knocked out Alistair Overeem.
Wow.
I was there here in Cleveland. Best sporting event I've ever been to in my life. This day, 2014, the reports that Gary Kubiak was not interested in the Browns' OC job. This day, 1988, it was the first ever WWF Royal Rumble. Your trivia, who won the first ever Royal Rumble? I know you're a big wrestling fan.
Ric Flair.
Do you know who Hacksaw Jim Duggan is?
Absolutely not.
He won the first ever Royal Rumble. This day, 1988. This day, 1984, Steve Jobs debuted the Macintosh.
Nice. Where would we be without him?
I mean, I'm not here's the thing. I'm Apple phone, and I have an iPad, but I will never own a Mac. I can't do it. I need to have Windows. I've tried Macs in the past. It's just the operating system. It doesn't really work for me. I'm a Windows person.
You can't adapt?
No. I just can't. I'm too old already at this point. I'm 34. I'm entrenched in what I know. It is what it is. This day, 1976, the Cavs set a franchise record with a 43-point win over Milwaukee. They would match it 2 other times, but it's been passed several times since. We won by 44 in that Eastern Conference Finals game against Boston, 45 in the playoffs against Toronto in 01, and the franchise record was set in 1991. Cavs beat Toronto by 68 points to set their franchise record, but they set it for the first time this day back in 76.
Hash on Twitch says Samsung is best, and I have to wholeheartedly disagree with that.
He ruins our text threads. I'll just put it out there. He ruins our text threads because he's got the green.
Ew.
All the rest of us got the, well, not. It's 2. There's 4 of us in the text group. 2 have Androids, 2 have iPhones. And they ruin the text with their ugly green. It is what it is. This day, 1954, Cleveland removed the final of their street cars in the city of Cleveland. I've never been to San Francisco. I've never ridden a streetcar. I mean, I've ridden the RTA.
Can someone
Can
someone explain to me what a rice-a-roni is?
I don't know. I just know,
It's like their famous dish.
I think it's like jambalaya. Like that's. I go for a mean jambalaya. I'm down for a nice jambalaya. But streetcars removed from Cleveland this day, 1954. This is an important day for a lot of us, I think. This day, 1935, canned beer goes on sale for the very first time. The Gottfried Kruger Brewing Company partnered with the American Can Company to deliver 2,000 cans of Kruger's Finest Beer and Kruger's Cream Ale to Richmond, Virginia. Before that, it had been strictly bottles.
What's you can only drink one beer the rest of your life?
Conway's Irish Ale, Great Lakes Brewing Company. It's out right now. It is my ultimate favorite beer of all time. In a way, I am glad that it's only seasonal. I stock up, like when I know Conway's going out of the stores, I go buy 2 12-packs and I keep it in my basement.
Sounds good right now.
Dude, it's delicious. It's the best beer out there. And I love beer. The thing is, draft bottles or cans. Draft, then bottle, then can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Draft 100%.
100%. That's how it goes for sure. A very happy birthday goes out to Sean McVay, Rob Dibble, former Indians pitcher Scott Kazmaier, Brian Cushing, Sharon Tate, Matthew Lillard, Ed Holmes, Neil Diamond, and John Belushi, all celebrating birthdays today. They're in time off, so a pretty good day. I got no movies, I got no TV shows for you today. Very unfortunate.
It's okay.
That's all right. We'll get to that coming up a little bit later. All right, Ryan, let's jump back into our typical boost for tonight. Cavs, Bucks, 8 o'clock. Let's remind people our boost for tonight with Tipico. There it goes. Boosted up to plus 600 for the game tonight. We need the over. We need Sam Merrill points, and we're going back to it, Ryan, because Brook Lopez cost us in the last game.
I hate that guy. He always looks like he's going to cry.
He was bitching up a storm in that last game.
Yeah, he was.
Bitching up a storm. But nonetheless, we will go with under blocks for him yet again. So there it is with our boost for tonight all the way up. Folks, get signed up. Tipico, use the code Fontana100. And you get $100 in bonus bets when you deposit and bet $25. It's all up there right now at Tipico. Get signed up and get rocking right there. For this game tonight, folks, I'm so excited. Like, these are the games that really, if the Cavs win tonight, I think this could just set up the... I'm trying not to put too much on this game because you'll see the Bucks in just a couple of days. You got the Clippers in between. Here's an important stretch for the Cavs. But I think it starts tonight with that exact measuring stick. And when I checked our poll this morning, do you believe that tonight is a measuring stick game for the Cavs? It was 50-50 last time I checked. I'm viewing this as you win this game tonight, you now start to have a little belief in yourself. Because no matter how big of Cavs fans we are, no matter what we've seen this play over the last, stretch, which has been great, they need a little belief themselves. And I think a win over the Bucks to show to everybody, to prove to everybody exactly what this team can do, that could propel you into a new, I don't want to say new era of this basketball team, but a new era of this season. So for tonight, they're 6.5-point dogs, okay? Vegas would tell you that they believe that the Bucks are going to win this game, right? Go show them something, Cavs. Go get something. Keys for me tonight. You got to keep hot on the three-point shooting. You're going to have Sam Merrill and a helper boost. Karis LeVert. Is he going to play tonight? He's been battling the wrist injury. I think tonight, he's got to play tonight. I think you've been sitting him trying to rest that wrist a little bit to get him ready for a game like tonight. And the same thing, when I look at the Cavs, I want to say this. I want their full complement because I want to give them our full complement. I want to be able to say this was best on best and see where it shakes out. I want to see what this team has. How far away are you from the Bucks? As a team that I assume is probably going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, let's see where we're at. And knowing that things will evolve and things will change. And I've learned a lot about this Cavs team over the last 15 games and the win streak that they're on. But Ryan, tonight's going to learn. I think I'm going to learn more about this team tonight than I will the rest of the month.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Giannis plays, yeah.
Is there anything out there on that?
Game time decision.
He's going to play. What's he battling? Shoulder injury?
I have no idea.
Adam Silver must be chomping at the bit. He's so pissed off about this stuff. Guys sit in this new protocol. Has it worked? I don't think have I seen a giant, as any team, one team has been fined, right? I think I've seen one team get fined under the player participation protocol or whatever it is, the PPP. I think one team, that's it. So I don't know if it's working or not. I assume he's going to go tonight. But also the fact that it's not a primetime game. The fact that it's not on national TV. Maybe that changes some things. It's massive.
Let's see. I'm looking at Sports Kita for his
very important.
Most recent update. Well, he played. He's been listed an injury report due to a shoulder injury. Even though he played the last 2 games.
He will play tonight. There's no way that he doesn't play tonight with how pissed off.
Yeah, it says I expect him to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I would believe that he's going to do it. So with that, that's what I want. Knowing that it's going to factor in. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if the Cavs lost tonight. I would not be shocked at all. But what I want to see him do is compete. What I want to see is for them to show up in this game. The other thing, what has been one of the keys for the Cavs in this stretch run? Getting out to a big lead early. Dude, I like that again for the. Oh man, I'm back into Typico real quick. First quarter lead. First quarter lead. I kind of like that for the Cavs tonight. Let me see here. And that's what I love about Typico. You can bet the quarters, you can bet halves. Let me see what I got for tonight. Logging in. Okay, Cavs. Did you get your tennis bets in? I guess the Australian Open's going on. I don't know. Cavs, Bucks. First half, second half, first half winner. I don't want the first half. Oh, first quarter. I'm 1 over. Dude, Cavs are plus 2.5 in the first quarter. Think I should just take them to win the quarter at plus 145? You like that?
I don't know.
You don't like it?
I don't know, Matt.
You don't like it?
I don't know.
A tie at the end of the first quarter is plus 1,500. I'm going to put $1 on that. I'm putting $1 on that. I don't know why. I think that's very interesting. I'm going to put that. $1. That wins me $15 if the Cavs and the Bucks tie after the first quarter. I need the Cavs to come out to that hot start. I think that's been their biggest key. Tonight, I got to tell you, too, I think tonight's a big night for Donovan Mitchell. We didn't put him in our parlay, but these are the kind of games that he shows up for. Popular.
Yeah, I mean, nobody on the Bucks can guard Donovan.
No. Player points over under 31.5 for Donovan tonight. You like the over?
Drop at 45.
All right, I like it. I'll do that. Jared Allen's 14.5. Giannis 32.5. I kind of like the under.
I like the under too.
I like the under there. If he's doing a little bit of
unless he becomes a foul
maintenance merchant. Or I don't mind that. It's kind of where you miss Tristan Thompson. I love him to get in there, rough up Giannis just a little bit.
Yeah,
rough him up a little bit.
Oh, dang it!
Get him in foul trouble. Not having him tonight. I do kind of like the under there for Giannis tonight. But still, big game for the Cavs tonight. Super excited. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Efforting a couple Cavs guests. We're going to get a Cavs guest on. We'll get Noah Weisskopf on this week as well. So get for the NFL this weekend. all those guys, I'm assuming, really like soup, Ryan. But who stands above the rest? Let's get to it. Our big play bracket of the week.
Group 1, lobster bisque edges out the broccoli cheddar, which I got to say I'm very disappointed about. Group 2, chicken noodle. I mean, that's a staple. They advanced to the Final Four. Going tonight, Group 3, French onion, minestrone, chicken tortilla, and miso.
That might be group of death. That might be group of death. So lobster bisque won 39% to 37% over broccoli cheddar. Italian wedding gave up a fight, 35%, but they go home. So chicken noodle and lobster bisque, as you mentioned. So tonight, French onion, minestrone, chicken tortilla, and miso. That is my group of death.
I've never had any of those.
What? Do you like cheese?
Yeah, I love cheese.
So on the French onion, they put that thick slice, usually of mozzarella, on top of it.
That
and then
good.
do you like onion?
I do.
You got to get a good French onion soup.
Where do I get one?
Munch tweeted me that Trivs has a really good one.
Trivs?
A lot of steakhouses have good French onion. So maybe for the dinner that I owe you, I'll find you a good French onion place. Okay, I'll find you a good French onion soup place.
There we go.
For the dinner. Minestrone's good. Chicken tortilla, if you get the right level of heat, like spiciness in a chicken tortilla soup, undefeated. Miso, I got to tell you, that's one of the best cold weather soups you could get is a good miso soup. Because it's so simple. It's just pretty much the broth. And it's got some other things in it. But man, I could destroy some miso soup. Group 4, it's got to go to clam chowder.
Never had it.
But I've had bad clam chowder in my life. I love seafood. And it's harder than you think to do a good clam chowder. Tomato is always solid. Zuppa Toscana, fine. It's another Italian one. And then nobody likes lentil soup.
What even is lentil?
It's all beans. Lentils,
No
beans.
legs.
No, I'm out on it.
Tomato for me.
Tomato's your vote there. I'll listen to that. But again, we had our 2 number 1 seeds. I think there's a chance all 4 number 1 seeds make it to the finals. And then some decisions will have to be made.
I'm just disappointed about broccoli cheddar.
Why?
It's the best.
Broccoli cheddar is very good. Can be a little overrated. Like, I think a lot of people dive into broccoli cheddar from Panera because you get the bowl, like the bread bowl with it. And I think it's, again, can be solid, but like anything, once you screw it up, it's no good. The thing is the cheat. You got to have the right cheddar. You got to have the right mix because not it's just sharp cheddar and regular cheddar. And also, how done is the broccoli? You want that, like, I want my broccoli, like, soupy. I want it completely. I don't want any hard elements of that broccoli in that broccoli cheddar. The soupy. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes broccoli can be a little hard.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
No, not in my broccoli cheddar soup. Not that way.
I mean, I guess so. When it's
got
in the soup.
Exactly. It's got to be laid out that way. So go vote. We'll put that up on Twitter, at Matt Fontana Show. Follow us everywhere, folks. We're on Twitter, at Matt Fontana Show. Our new venture this morning was on Twitch. So if you follow us on Twitch, we appreciate that very much. Drop us a follow there. We're up on YouTube as well. Big Play and the Matt Fontana Show. Got a lot geared up for the rest of the week. We'll get into football again on Friday. We'll have Sonny on. We're going to get ready for our divisional game, or excuse me, our championship games this weekend. AFC, NFC. We'll get somebody on talking Cavs as well. I have no Wisecop to go. And really, all eyes and ears pointed for the Browns hiring their next OC. Packers are looking for a DC. Now, this stuff's starting to shake out a little bit. As some of these teams are getting their hirings in. They're getting their coaches in. Bobby Slowick's got another one. I feel pretty good that I think we're going to have another head coaching hire by the end of the week. I think things are starting to circle around. That'll help out a little bit, in my opinion, with the Browns. Because the more that these staffs get filled out, the more ideas you'll have of who's available, but also, folks, who's going to leave. And we've been on Callahan watch here. We've been worried about it for quite some time. I'm projecting that Bill Callahan's going to leave. But don't be mistaken. There might be somebody else. Chad O'Shea might go on to find another job. You might lose somebody on that defensive staff. I don't know. I really don't know. The thing is, and remember when we were all worried that Jim Schwartz dude, he's not even been mentioned. Remember that? There was a time, and I'm not trying to knock Jim Schwartz on this or anything like that, but there was a time that we were all worried Jim Schwartz was going to leave. He's not even gotten interviews. Now, he has another great year this year coming up. That'll happen at the end of next season. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But there was a time we're all worried. Like, no, nobody calling Jim Schwartz. Don't worry, they did. It's been interesting to see how this has all played out on the NFL coaching searches. I think we're going to get another one by the end of the week, Ryan, and I think that'll help the Browns kind of formulate what they're doing at OC.
Yeah, we'll see if either me or you get one right in our coaching guesses.
We're 0 for 1 thus far. We're 0 for 1. We got to hit one. What's the one that you feel locked about? Harbaugh to the Chargers?
Yeah, but that's kind of I feel like that's a cop-out as well.
I'm going Belichick to the Falcons.
Yeah, that's probably more than likely going to happen.
I think that's a lock.
And then the other ones are kind of really tough because I don't know, like Brian
like,
Johnson.
Yeah, like all these other ones now are like there's some
So
guys we never even heard about. Or, Dave Canales got interviews all of a sudden. I mean, it's kind of a crazy time. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Folks, don't forget, Drennan coming up later tonight with bonus time. Go back, watch Denzel Ward on Josh Maria Cribbs last night. Enter the Jungle with James Rapine. We got it all locked up for you, folks. Cavs tonight. Get it done. Our boost is up on Tipico. Use that code Fontana100 when you sign up. Get your bets in. Let's get it done tonight. I want to talk about a Cavs victory tomorrow. I have a good feeling maybe we're going to be doing that. Appreciate everybody joining us here on a Wednesday. Back on a Thursday edition, 9 to 11, as always, right here with our friends from Tipico. Big Play, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. It's all over the place. We appreciate you joining us. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. And as always, take it easy.